Yo guys, what's going on? Getting that stream kicking off right now. Starting a couple minutes early because I've actually got a bit of a kit here. The first drink of the night is a michelada. Leia thought it would be humorous if she went and got drinks from the 99-cent store. She says, Josh, you always drink something during your ham radio crash course. Let's try using something that's real cost-friendly. Cost-friendly for the hams out there. So she got me this michelada cup that I have placed ice in it. She got me Height. Height is a Korean beer. I don't know what she's thinking exactly. How are we doing? We got people coming in? You guys seeing this? Hopefully so. Anyway, there's a seasoning packet. It's basically peppers and spices. Spices. Opening it now. Opening it. Oh yeah. Look at that. Cool. Alright. Then we take one of Amazon's #1 rated hot sauces. Secret Aardvark. It's a celebration. You're gonna go get your testing done soon. So I'm making a spicy kit, a spicy drink. We take our Hite. So there's a couple ways of doing this. I usually hit the beer in the bottom there, but then you take the special ingredient, which is Clamato. Already you guys are like, what is this? What is he doing? What is he doing? What am I actually watching right now? I thought I was here for ham radio. He's putting beer with Clamato. He's a monster. Yeah, I'm a monster. It's true. Don't worry, I'm just getting started. Just mixing myself up a michelada. For those who are familiar with one of the best Mexican-influenced, Mexican/Spanish. I'm not sure where the origin of it is originally, but anyway. So we got a lot to talk about today. Today is the last episode, call it, for the technician license training. I'm still going to do the weekly, every Thursday, ham radio crash course. Don't worry, that's still going to happen. But I need to kind of get y'all tested so we can move on to the fun stuff and I can explain all the other things about ham radio, right? So we're going to do a couple practice tests. We're going to do some questions and answers that I've received before. If you want to give me questions and answers, very simple. Go to the Facebook page, my Facebook page. It's Hoshnasi on Facebook. Couple things to mention before we kick the whole thing off. Pause that. We'll go into the news here. So, I opened a Patreon account. I did that for a couple reasons. One of the main reasons is y'all know what's going on with YouTube. They don't really pay us out anymore. So, that's the basic simple thing is I want to commit more to hardware, kits, stuff like that, doing reviews, covering ham radio from a larger extent, not just branching out from the Baofeng stuff, getting more into HF, which I normally do anyway, but you get the idea. So, go on over to patreon.com/Hoshnasi or take the description link below. I think I got a couple cool perks. You know, if you got $1, help me out. $1, man. Don't worry about it. Just $1 a month. So what do we got in chat? Oh, chat. Got a lot of people in chat. Toys are for boys. Hey, Mike, is it Niswender? Is that how you pronounce your last name? Let's see. Al, Miami, Florida, right on. Please, everyone, take the test. It's $15, Dreamweaver says. Yes, sir. Please take the test. And that's a good segue into my next piece of news. There is a swap meet this weekend, and this is for very specific people that are watching this. There's a swap meet this weekend in Redondo Beach, California, at the old TRW plant. The TRW plant has a swap meet last Saturday of every month, and they also do testing, ham radio license testing. Free for walking in. Well, you can walk in. You don't have to RSVP. It's $15 to take the test. That is where I got my general license. And if there's anyone who's interested in going and taking the test for this weekend, send me a message on Facebook. It is a good chance that I am going to the swap meet. It starts at 6 a.m. I think it goes till noon. I will probably be there. There's a good chance I'll be there. I'm going to sip my michelada here now. Oh, Man, that's good. Man, that's good. Pensacola. P-Cola Pilot. Right on. So, I do want to make a big shout out. My first Patreon patron was Mike Nieswinder. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Just want to say a big shout out there. I'm pretty sure that's you in there. I don't see there's no avatar in the chat room, so I hope that's you. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I'm getting all the chat the way the chat's supposed to be. Hopefully it's all sized correctly. What is going on? Why is it cutting off? And of course I've got something in my throat right now. I don't know what's going on. Let me get my water. I don't know what's going on with my throat. Here in California we get allergies occasionally and it just bugs me, man. So yeah, big shout out to Mike. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the support on Patreon. You were the first patron. I think you jumped on it fast, so I really appreciate that. Keeps me going, helps get the train down the tracks, that whole thing. All right, so last thing before we dive in, start doing some question and answers, and I'd like to do 2 practice tests would be awesome. The last comment, I made a Facebook group. The Facebook group is Ham Radio Crash Course. Pretty simple. The idea being, I'm only one man, but you are many. People can post questions there. Hopefully, people will be willing to get answers for their questions. That'd be awesome. Mike in the chat is saying, the problem is, where I live, I have to drive 180 miles to take the test. Plus, they test on Thursdays at like 2 in the afternoon. So frustrating. Michael Boyd, where are you located, if you don't mind me asking? Just give me a relative geographic area. Howard in the chat says, hey, Josh, passed my technician test this past Saturday. Waiting for my call sign to show up on the FCC. Thank you for doing it, man. Congrats to you, Howard. It's really not difficult, guys. I'm telling you. What we've already done just from watching these videos, if you took the app privately, started doing a couple of practice tests, you're going to be good. I'm telling you, you're going to be good. You don't have to have all the answers to every question. In fact, that's not even what this is about, really. So, keep that in mind. Just get out there and do it. I've actually got to put more hot sauce in this thing. It's not hot enough. Later in the... maybe I should just do it now. Let's just do it now. Oh boy. It's a flippy cap, and I had it aimed at my face, and I closed it and shot. I got hot sauce right there. Whoo! Wow. I'm using a carpenter's pencil because that's all I have to stir my drink. Gotta keep the spices suspended. Very important. But we also don't want to get the carpenter's pencil covered in saliva. Okay, let's jump over. I want to show you guys a website. ARRL. Okay, so for folks that are in Nebraska or anyone else, let's look at the website. I'm going to show you really quick how to go find out where to take your license. You click on Licensing and Education. It's the 3rd tab from the left there. You need to go to, where is it? Getting licensed. Yeah, I want to find courses, classroom, license. Okay, let's just go getting licensed. It's one of these. Find an exam session. Click on Learn More. And then you can just type in your zip code. Don't know if this works for Canada, guys. Sorry. I don't know why it does that. I don't want the keyword to be, let's say 50 miles. The reason I'm showing this is there's a little bit of finessing you have to do. So this is saying Cerritos Sheriff, but take the city out. If you take the city out and you hit search again, you can get a whole ton of them. And this is the one right here, what I mentioned. 127, Redondo Beach, California. Crescent Bay VE Group, the W6TRWARC, Amateur Radio Club. It's at the Northrop Grumman Company. If you go to that link, again, but use this website. That's how you find it. This tells you everything you need to know. Okay. You can email them. This K6PY. Well, if you're going to go use this, I would message RSVP, let people know where they're going to go, that you're coming, just in case for some freakish thing they weren't planning on doing the VE, even though it says walk-ins allowed. Like I said, I got my general there. Totally recommend it. Okay. Let's go. Hey, David Polson likes your page. Hosh Nasi. Thank you, David Polson. I guess I should have taken a Claritin or something. I'm getting that allergies going. Let me pull the chat up so I can see it live. Helps a little bit. You used to use good old Skillcraft pen to stir the mud. Yeah, man. The Crafts pen, man. Or the Craft pencil. Let me go through the chat, make sure I got everything. Good, up to date. All right. So, what have we done so far? Let's look through this. So, we've pretty much walked through almost all of these. We went through all the different areas, satisfactory. Where it says 50%, I'm assuming that because we missed some of them in the practice test when we first started doing them. It's okay. Randomize, we want immediate feedback. We do not want auto advance. I personally don't. Yeah, vodka clears it. Well, shoot! Let me let me go back over here. I've got, I don't know why I put these on the table. I think they look good in contrast, but I picked up an Old Smoky, which is not real moonshine, and a Slow and Low 84 proof Rock and Rye. If it gets any worse, we may have to tap into that, right? Oh, also, what happened there? Okay. Want to mention that, what do we got? More Q&A? Okay. Want to make sure, we're going to do Q&A, and I want to touch briefly on kind of what the next stuff I'm going to be talking about. So probably do that towards the end of the show. I want to talk about, like, well, what do you do now you have your license, right? You got your ham radio license. You think it's all about getting on repeaters and squawking to people? That's just the beginning, man. There's way more to this, and I'm going to talk briefly about it. Each one of these things, and I've got like 10 that I just came up with off the top of my head, you could spend months in learning about and getting involved in all kinds of stuff. California City, Hawkeye. I think you're the guy I was talking to. All right? You the guy that I've been talking to on Facebook? Please don't inject those. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Okay. What property of radio wave is used to describe its polarization? Polarization. The ratio of the velocity to the wavelength, the orientation of the electric field, the ratio of the energy in the magnetic field to the energy of the electric field, the orientation of the magnetic field. This is one of those remember it guys, because most of us are not. Zach goes! Man, I haven't talked to you in a long time. I saw you for a moment at the end of VidCon. How you been, buddy? Oh, man. That's good michelada. Oh, cool. Yeah, you mentioned that. Right on. The John Z project. Got the cable and one other item from your Amazon link. Code works awesome. Thank you. Or cable works awesome. Yes, it does. That's exactly why I recommend it. That's precisely why I recommend it. Okay. Oh, it's a dog barking. You know what? I'm just going to take a shot in the dark because I actually don't remember this, and I'm not really an RF guy. I don't know that we got a lot of... Well, who just took the test? Howard? I want to say polarization is magnetic field, but remember, longer answers are good answers a lot of the time. And what do you got in the longer answer? The ratio of the energy in the magnetic field to the energy of the the electric field. Oh, that's true too! This Saturday is Winter Field Day. For some of you that don't have your license yet, it's a bit tough. That's funny, man. B, magnetic or electric field, the orientation of the electric field. Jack Page, I don't have a DMR Baofeng. I only have an analog Baofeng. So Howard, our recent graduate of the license, says magnetic field. Oh, Howard! Oh, Howard! It was B. Who said B? Uncle Broccoli. Okay, just commit that one to memory. KB8UJY. Hello, sir. We have a licensed individual, Andrew, in the chat. Seriously, you're going to find stuff like that. Just commit it to memory. You don't need to score 100%. You need to get 75%. You can miss stuff like that. Don't worry about it. And honestly, that even stumped me. I didn't even remember. But, that's not surprising. I missed some of these. All right, so when may amateur radio operators use their stations to notify other amateurs of the availability of equipment for trade? Or sale or trade? When the equipment is not the personal property of either station licensee or the control operator, when the asking price is $100 or less. When is ham radio equipment $100 or less? When the asking price is less than its appraised value. When the equipment is normally used in an amateur radio station and such activity is not conducted on a regular basis. I think it's D. Let's try. Yes. So the important part there is on a regular basis. You're not supposed to run a business out of ham radio. You can sell equipment as you upgrade, and you can mention on the repeaters. That's fine. No big deal. TYTMD380, best buck for DMR. Is it? I don't. So, I have a radio coming. I have a radio, a dual band DMR radio coming in the mail soon, and I will be making a review on it. It is my first DMR radio. But I don't want to give up the suspense and tell everybody. You may be able to guess it. You may be able to figure it out. Dual band DMR radio. There's only a couple. Which of these precautions should be taken when installing devices for lightning protection in a coaxial cable feed line? Ground all the protectors to a common plate, which is then connected to an external ground. That could be the answer. That's a good idea anyway, but I think that's to get rid of noise levels in other electronics. In fact, I think that's just for equipment grounding. That's not antenna grounding. Include a parallel bypass switch for each protector so that it can be switched out of the circuit when running high power. That's not going to stop you from lightning. Include a series switch in the ground line of each protector to RF overload from inadvertent damage to the protector. Keep the ground wires from each protector separate and connected to station ground. Uh-oh. Don't look at that. Jeez. Whoever Compton, your phone number is just straight on the internet. Whoever called me. Don't call me. In fact, hold on. Let's do this. No. Oh. Well, that was the right answer, but hold on. I gotta turn on the airport, whatever. There. No. Whoops. I think that was actually a, what do you call it? That was a scammer, one of those auto-recorded whatevers. Anyway, ground all the protectors. That's just good to do anyway. I didn't know that it was good for lightning protection. They make spark gap devices for lightning protection. That's also good too. What instrument is used to measure resistance? This is an easy one. An ohm meter. An ohm meter. Remember we talked about ohms, the power of 3? The symbol of the ohms is the 2 quarter circles and 1 half circle, and you can use your finger to cover anyone up, and that's how you do the mathematical equation for factoring resistance and other things. That mixolog's pretty good. That was, I think that 6-pack place, that was $6 or $3. Damn, that's a good deal. You bought TYT MR1917 DMR. No, I did not. No, I didn't buy a TYT. So maybe that narrows it down even more. What instrument other than an SWR meter could you use to determine if a feed line and antenna are properly matched? So, ohm meter's resistance, directional watt meter, volt meter, or an iambic pentameter. It's an iambic pentameter, right? Nope. Oh, it's a directional. Oh, directional. Yes. Feed line. Okay, so is a good match, meaning that there shouldn't be reflected power coming back down the, what do you call it? Down the counterpoise, right? So, directional watt meter. See? Read. Remember? Hey, what's up, Biker Bob? What may happen if a transmitter is operated with a microphone gain set too high? The output power might be too high. The SWR might increase. The frequency might vary. The output signal might become distorted. I think it's D. Yes. There you go. You're not going to affect much of anything other than your signal, right? Because your signal is getting modulated in whatever mode you're running, like single sideband, FM, AM, VHF, whatever. So, your output gets distorted. That's how that works. That was good. And spicy. Holy crap. Which of the following components can be made of 3 layers of semiconductor material? 3s. Transistor. 3 is important, right? That's one of the only components that has 3 materials. Okay? 3 layers. Just commit that to memory. Right? And I don't have a Wait, do I? No, I scavenged it off of this. I was going to say, I've got my breadboard, which has a variable potentiometer, but it's not the semiconductor I wanted to use. When using a directional antenna, you might how might your station be able to access a distant repeater if building or obstructions are blocking the direct line of sight of signal path? Try to find a path that reflects signals to the repeater. Good. Change the vertical to horizontal polarization. Okay. Try the long path. Increase the antenna SWR. A? I want it to be A? Yeah, say, of course. So if you got I don't have this. When we talk about antennas, which we will in the future, in fact, I want to do a whole thing just talking about building antennas, what antennas to buy, and we're talking like base station / mobile installations, right? Antennas. Directionals are very important. A lot of people they're called Yagis in some cases, Beme antennas. And the driven end of the antenna, that's where most of the radiated energy goes. The RF energy goes in a direction, single direction. And if you literally have a big building in front of you, right, blocking your way, you're just shooting RF into that building. So what do? You try and bounce it off of something, which is fine. You can do that. In fact, I used to work at a place that had these big towers, and they had these boards that were used to bounce RF all over the place, way back in the day. Which of the following actions should you take if a neighbor tells you that your station's transmissions are interfering with their radio or TV reception? You tell them to get off my porch and my property and don't come back, ever. No, it's it's stop and then figure out why. So it's probably the long one, D. Make sure that your station is functioning properly and that it does not cause interference to your own... Yeah, that's not it. Install a harmonic doubler on the output of your transmitter and tune it until the interference is eliminated. Tell them that your license gives you the right to transmit and nothing can be done to reduce the interference. I think it's C. No, immediately turn it off? Wait. Oh, okay. Sometimes it says stop and work with the neighbor and be nice. That's another question, I guess. See, I'm trying to remember too much. Make sure that your station is functioning properly and that it does not cause interference to your own radio or television when it's tuned to the same channel. Okay. Sure, I guess that's the way of tracking it down. Generally, though, the advice is, like, work with your neighbors and try to figure it out. Because ultimately the solution might be that you have to get filters, right? And that's actually a cost thing. You're technically not required to pay for anything like that, though. And if you are operating as required at the appropriate power levels and etc., you're generally fine, but it's generally better to be a nice guy when it comes to ham radio. Because then when you... end up putting a big tower, erecting a tower in your backyard, and you got this huge antenna off the top of it, they're not going to pitch a fit. What is the typical bandwidth of analog fast-scan television transmissions on the 30 centimeter band? Typical bandwidth of analog fast scan. This is one of those about 1, about 6, about 3. More than 10? Let's go with more than 10. No, 6. There you go. Commit that one to memory. I don't do fast scan television. I don't know very few hams that do fast scan television. No reason not to know it, but some things are going to be a little esoteric. That was like 2 in a row. Better be careful. When under normal circumstances may a technician class licensee be the control operator station, we talked about this last week, operating in an exclusive extra class operator segment of the amateur bands. When using a club station when under the normal circumstances may a technician license, I think it was at no time, right? That was, at no time. At no time. Yeah, the last question says 70 meters, but they're referring to the megahertz of the transmission for fast scan television. Just, if you're a fast scan guy, you'll know it, but otherwise just remember, commit it to memory. So the good part about this test is that a lot of stuff just makes sense. A lot of stuff is real. It factors into real ham radio uses. If you read that Gordo book, like I recommend, go buy that book, read that book. You're going to get a lot out of it. You're going to be a much more skilled operator. But there are some things that you're just never going to know. Hey, Hashnasi, what is your... this is from the John Z Project. What is your opinion of the Radio Oddity brand for DMR? I don't know. I don't have any. I think I mentioned it earlier. I have a DMR radio coming to me. It is not that brand. And I've never used DMR. I've only really used analog radios. So, which of the following is used to convert a radio signal from one frequency to another? Which of the following is used to convert a radio signal from one frequency to another? Your little VFO knob. Isn't that it? You got an amplifier that amplifies a signal, an inverter which could convert, and a phase splitter. It's going to be B or C. Wouldn't an inverter convert? Doesn't that converts? Or is it mixer? I'm going to go with inverter. Damn, it was mixer. I should have trusted myself and stopped thinking through it. It's a mixer. I'm in trouble, man. I might not pass the test. Who may select a desired call sign under the vanity call sign rules? Any amateur radio license, any licensed amateur. Just remember it. What determines the amount of deviation of an FM as opposed to PM, pulse modulation versus frequency modulation signal? A relative phase of the modulating signal and the carrier, both the frequency and amplitude of the modulating signal. James says, I got every license from reading over the questions a couple of times and only reading the right answers. Learn some material. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can pretty much just read the answers, the right answers, and you're good to go. What determines the amount of deviation of an F frequency modulation of a frequency modulated signal? The relative phase of the modulating signal and the carrier, both the frequency and amplitude of the modulating signal, the amplitude of the modulating signal, the frequency of the modulating signal. Well, it's probably D, because FM stands for frequency modulation. No, of course. I think I'm going to fail this live on air. ADV Jason says, hey, I got on during a live chat studying now, bought the BF F8 HP, and then found your channel and bought the book. Excellent. I used to work with communication satellites. Dude, don't even... Just go take the test. Just go take the test. What is the impedance of most commonly used coax cable in typical amateur radio stations? 50 ohms. Commit that one to memory. Commit it to memory. So yes, it is amplitude modulation. I screwed that one up. I screwed up a lot of these. I don't think I'm going to pass. Oh man, that's good. What is the definition of duty cycle during the average time for RF exposure? The percentage of the time that a transmitter is transmitting, the difference between the PEP and average power output of the transmitter, the difference between the lowest power output and the highest power output of the transmitter, the percentage of the time the transmitter is not transmitting. 50. Oh yeah, 50. You got it. Yeah, ADV. I guess it's probably different in the military. Yeah, right. This is like the last class. We're on episode 6. I've been doing practice tests this whole time, and my last test, I fail it. Happens, guys. Happens to the best of them. Oh man, that is good. I'm telling you. If you like V8, I mean like V8, try Michelada. You're gonna like it if you like Mexican beer, or in this case, Korean beer. Yeah, of course. Why not? I'm gonna phone a friend, the audience here. What is the correct answer for this? I want to say A, but it could also be B. Howard? Want to jump in there, Howard? Man, that's good. All right. You got a point, Hawkeye. Okay. What method of call sign identification is required for a station transmitting phone signals? What method of call sign? This is voice or CW, right? A. Yeah. Another A. So that's an easy one. When you're on a station transmitting phone signals, meaning you're on a repeater, the repeater's off, we've got a phone patch. This is very rare. We talked about this. Yeah, like a welder's duty cycle. Yeah, that's there's a good way of remembering it. James Rattay says, like a welder's duty cycle. It's a good way to remember. So, on to this question. You're on a repeater. The repeater's keyed up to a phone bank, phone something, whatever, and you're making a phone call. You still have to do the 10-minute call sign identification, that kind of thing. So, if that's done CW or that's done voice, it's fine. What do the initials LEO, law enforcement officer, tell you about an amateur radio satellite? It's low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit. LEO. That's law enforcement officer satellite? So watch out. What part of the SEC regulation contains the rules governing amateur radio? Is part 90? 90? No, it's 97. Of course it is. Can I erase it? I can't erase it. I think I just failed. Anyway, 97, 95 is FRS radio, and 90 is commercial or private commercial radio. Anyway, what type of circuit controls the amount of voltage from a power supply? A regulator. Regulators mount up. Yep, part 97. You're all right. I was wrong. What is the source of a high-pitched whine that varies with engine speed in a mobile transceiver's audio? The alternator. Ooh. That's a spicy meatball. What is the ITU? An agency of the United States Department of Telecommunications. The fact it says United States, that's not it. United Nations Agency for Information and Communications Technology Issues. An independent frequency coordination agency, a department of the SEC. ITU is international. Okay, so anything that mentions FCC or having to do with the United States, you can just skip it. So it's B. What is the resistance of a circuit in which a current of 3 amps flows through a resistor connected to 90 volts? What is the resistance of a circuit in which a current of 3 amps flows through a resistor connected to 90 volts. 30? 30? I think it's 30. It's 30. International Travi Universe. It's a live stream, guys, so there is a bit of lag. As I'm sending my data to YouTube, YouTube is doing their YouTube magic and they're pushing it out. So there is a bit of time delay, and I try and kind of talk slow through some of the things to get things caught up. So it just is what it is. I try to reduce the lag to as much as possible, but some of it's introduced from my computer, some of it's introduced from YouTube. It's kind of what it is. Ah, man. What is meant by the term impedance? It is a measure of the opposition to AC current flow in a circuit. It is the measure of power. It's the resistance, really. Impedance. 30. No, it was 30 ohms is the last question. Measure of opposition. The measure of pie chart. Yeah, exactly, pie chart. It is a measure of the power handling capability of a component. No. It is the measure of the Q or quality factor of a component. No. Hey Moo. What's Hey Moo? Oh, live two live Moo. Two live Moo. That's a good name. I'm almost done. It's A. Okay. What is the appropriate rate to call another station on a repeater if you know the other station's call sign? Just scream it. Right. Wait for the station to call CQ, say the station's call sign, then identify with your call sign. That's the way to do it. Yeah, we're just going to do that. I'm going to go right into it. I'm not even going to mess with the other ones. A lot of these, if you know the right answer, just do the right answer and just move forward. I'm finally catching you during a live stream. I'm incredibly excited. Virginia signing in. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. I will mention it now. We're like way into the middle of this already, but next weekend we're not going to do it on Thursday. We're going to do it on Friday. We're going to try out a Friday stream. That might be better for people on the East Coast, and they can stay up a little bit later. Maybe, I don't know. I have something going on Thursday, but hopefully it's fortuitous and it works for everybody. Why do VHF and UHF radio signals usually travel somewhat farther than the visual line of sight distance between two stations? The Earth seems less curved to radio waves than to light. Radio waves are blocked by dust particles. Radio signals move somewhat faster than the speed of light. Radio waves are not blocked by dust particles. Why do VHF, I gotta reread this, and UHF radio signals usually travel somewhat farther than the visual, because they're not blocked by... the Earth seems less curved to the radio waves than to light. No. Radio signals are somewhat no. Radio waves are not blocked by dust particles. D. No. Why? Oh, wait. I'm really doing bad on this one. I think I will fail. Okay, so seems less curved. Is that a way of saying it bounces across the atmosphere? Is that what they're trying to imply? Because that's kind of a really weird way of writing that. The Earth seems less curved. I don't know. Don't like that. What is the basic unit of electromotive force? Electromotive force. Yeah, the Earth is flat, dude. Don't you know? The good thing about, if you want spicier, you just lick the rim here. A little more spice. What is it, guys? The volt or the watt? I've already failed this test, so I'll just let you guys answer the rest of them. I don't even know why I'm answering these. It's supposed to be for you guys. Uh-oh. We got a disagreement in chat. A or D. We'll take it to a full count. Get some more answers in here. Do an average. Let's go with volt. 3 out of 1. Vodka and V8's okay. The problem with vodka and V8 is V8's too thick. Which of the following is an accepted practice to get the immediate attention of a net control station when reporting a emergency? Begin your transmission saying priority or emergency followed by your call sign. That's it. You don't need... The push to talk 3 times is just going to piss people off. SOS is not really a thing we use in ham radio. And play a pre-recorded emergency tone. No. Just say emergency or priority traffic. What type of electrical component consists of 2 or more conductive surfaces separated by a insulator? 2 or more conductive surfaces separated by an insulator. Not an oscillator. Not a potentiometer. A resistor. Right? Resistor. I'll let you guys answer, actually. I don't want to screw this one up any more than I already have. Oh. John Savage says, last question about VHF. I was told it was because it is not blocked as much by life, by uneven terrain and objects in between. Don't know. I don't know that that's true either. Everybody says capacitor. Let's go with capacitor. Everybody's right. What is a rubber duck suck? What is the disadvantage of a rubber duck antenna supplied with most handheld radio transceivers? It transmits a circularly polarized signal. It's not a disadvantage. If the rubber duck end cap is lost, it will unravel very quickly. It does not transmit or receive as effectively as a full-size antenna. It is D. Oh, yeah. None of those other things are true. Oh, one of these ones. I like these. Okay. What is the component 3 in figure T3? That is the curvy one with the arrows and the lines and such. A meter, a connector, a variable inductor, a variable capacitor. I'll let you guys. It's either C or D. Man. Okay. There's the first one down. Whew. Oh, by the way, guys, this hot sauce is amazing. It's on Amazon, the Secret Aardvark. Really good taco / Mexican food hot sauce. Variable inductor. Bam. If a frequency readout calibrated If a frequency readout calibrated in megahertz shows a reading of 3.525 megahertz, what would it show if calibrated to kilohertz? Again, I'll let you guys answer this. I'm going to open a beer. We got how many more questions? Well, we got 3 more questions, and then we're going to do Q&A. Maybe we'll do another test after that. Looks like people like C. Hmm. Whew. We have... Oh, wait. We have 3 to 2. A to C, 3 to 2. Oh, another one for A. It's a split decision. Is it A or C, guys? Guys? John Z says Z. He is correct. A or C? Wow, it's really split. C, A, C, C, A, C, A, A, C. Another C. There you go. Hawkeye, you said it. Move your decimal point 3 to the right, and there is your answer. Simba. What does the term APRS mean? I have talked about this and I have done videos on this. So if you guys don't know that, I know it at least. Simple math. Two line move. It's not simple math. Let's just move the decimal point. Yes, everybody, you got it. Moo is correct. I can't see. Oh, can you not see the answers? Go full screen. And do 720p or higher. Anyway, I'll just give you the answer. It's automatic packet. Alright, oh no, wait. We got one more. 2 more. Which of the following is true concerning grounding conductors used for lightning protection? Wait, didn't we already answer this? Wires must be carefully routed with precise right-angle bends. No. Sharp bends must be avoided. Common grounds must be avoided. Only non-insulated wire must be used. So something to remember with grounding is it wants to take the shortest trip to ground. And it wants to go to like a ground spike, right? And my understanding is you need to use mechanical connections. You don't use solder or anything like that on a lightning protection because it will literally liquefy the solder and shoot it all over the place. So I see D and I go, oh, non-insulated wire must be used. Probably smart because you're going to be blasting insulation all over the place. Hot plastic everywhere. Common grounds must be avoided. I don't think so. You must be touching the antenna. Yes, that is the best. The best ground of lightning is a human ground. So you put your foot on top of the copper, the 8-foot copper lightning rod or the ground rod, and then you hold the antenna. That's the best way to ground your station. What happens when you have sharp bends? Arcing? Pain? I also believe that you should avoid non-insulated wires where possible if you think you might have lightning. Okay. Oh, you still there? I'm gonna get my chat back. Okay. Which of the following methods is used to locate sources of noise, interference, or jamming? Echolocation. Oh, we're going to talk about this later. In fact, I think we're going to talk about that stuff right now after this test, and then I'll either do Q&A or we'll do another test. Who knows this one? How do you track down... more surface area, the better. How do you track down and locate sources of noise interference or jamming? And Ice Bomb, and then Mackenzie. Everybody's got it. Radio direction finding. Okay, how do we do? Did I pass? What are you going to tell me? Done. Hey! We passed. Missed a lot, though. We still passed. Batman echolocation. That's how you find people. Okay, let me show you. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. So, what is going on in the background? How do I... There we go. Now I can see the chat. So something I was thinking about. I wrote down this little list. What do you do once you have your license, right? So you have your license. You're on the repeaters. Maybe you get a mobile rig. Now you got one in your car. And you might get bored. So what do you do to, like, spice up the relationship? Put a little romance back in the bedroom of ham radio. Hawkeye says, saw a cable you can connect from Baofeng to cell phone for APRS. Hey, I'm going to talk about that in a second, so hang on. Hang on to your butts. 2 live moves, 7 threes. Gotta run, or 73s. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Okay, first one. Soda. Oh, well, you know what? I should just do this in the order that the pictures come up instead of trying to follow my list. The picture right here is of me doing a kit for the 2P3 AM receiver radio. And then the breadboard is a listening device that I built. That is FM, frequency modulation, transmitter. Ice Bomb says, thanks to your vids and streams, I got licensed last week. That's awesome. Seriously. Just go, guys. Just go. Like, literally, this is the we failed all those questions. I felt like I was going to fail, and I still passed the test. Just go do it. This is supposed to give you confidence to just go do it. Go do it. Go do it. If you can't go get the book, don't worry about it. Go download the app and just start taking it. Believe me, the best thing you can do is just go, put some time in it, study a bit, go buy a radio, listen to it, figure out how to use it, use some of my videos to program it, do that whole thing, and then go take the damn test. Seriously. Okay, anyway. So, 2P3 radio, the top one, that's a copy. It's a super heterodyne receiver. It's a Chinese radio. Transistor radios were very, very popular in China a long time ago. And you can get a kit. You can get many kits. I built many kits on video, on stream. I absolutely love building kits. It's a great part of ham radio. And if you want to make that jump into HF, go get your general license. Or perhaps you want to get into CW. There's no reason why you can't build a kit radio, QRP kit radio, and transmitting on the technician areas on some of the other frequencies. So what else? This is my pocket chip. It's a Linux device, and I have a RTL SDR connected to it. That's a receiver, but it's a software-defined radio, and you can receive on a lot of frequencies. You can't read it on that. It is limited, but you can use different filters and other devices to get you access to the HF bands if that's what you wanted. This particular device just prints out a waterfall. That's what that app is doing. I'm trying to make a modification to it, or I don't really have the time. I probably won't. That will allow you to receive on some of the HF bands to be able to get that. A lot of people are mentioning in the chat, if you want a good way to take and remember the questions, take a book or print the questions and just highlight the right answers and just focus on those. It's very Bruce Lee of like just remember what works and forget everything else. Soda! Summits on the air. There are tons of people who do summits on the air with VHF, UHF, ham radio. You can stop saying ham, it's making me funny. Or making me hungry. Soda Summits on the Air is like, I call it Pokemon of ham radio. All the mountains around you have a point value, and you basically go to the top of that mountain, and you get 5 contacts, and you get the points for that mountain. So you're basically collecting the mountain. And people compete for points. It's very much a active participation type way of using ham radio, amateur radio in your everyday life. So there you go. Soda. Very cool. No, that's just a waterfall. What you're looking at, that last thing, was just a waterfall. This is, it's a Linux device with a waterfall. I think we were listening to 90.30 megahertz. Homebrew. So we mentioned Homebrew kit building for radios. Well, there's Homebrew kit building for antennas, and the kits are kind of like build your own kits. This is my 2 meter, 70 centimeter Super J-pole antenna. It is resonant on both 2 meter frequencies and 70 centimeter frequencies. With this, you could connect a Baofeng, and you could get very far. It's an omnidirectional antenna, but it's very powerful for what it does. It's very cool. And it took me, I don't know, a couple of hours to do it, not even a full day. I'm showing this picture because one of the comments I get more than anything is, your solders suck! Your solders suck! Well, yeah, it sucks, but it still works. I'm not a pipe fitter, I'm a engineer. What else? Satellites. This is my satellite rig. It is a Kenwood D72A. It is an APRS GPS-enabled radio with, it actually has its own TNC, which is a, what do they call that? Terminal node commander, terminal node something or other. Basically allows you to use your computer to issue data, send and receive data through the radio directly and not just via the tones that you normally use if you're doing APRS or some of the digital modes. Oh man, Ray, if you have access to copper, like copper plumbing, go build a J-pole. Like go do it. And you can build one for each, 70 centimeter, 2 meter. In my case, I built the Super J because it does both, but not really great at either one. A better solution is build a 70 centimeter J-pole and then build a 2 meter J-pole, and you get the best of both worlds in 2 separate antennas, and they'll be very efficiently tuned. What else? QRP! So here's somebody at the door. Well, let's take a look at that right now. I don't want to have to pause the chat. Qrp Radio. What is this? Oh, no, it's the family. Qrp Radio. This is an antenna tuner for 15 meters to 40 meters. I just completed this kit yesterday. It's got 2 toroids that you have to wind the coils, a couple resistors right here. Oh no, right here. There's one, lot of resistors, 1 diode. The toroids gave me the most trouble. But with this, you attach a, oh, this is the coolest part. This is actually the reason I got this. Can I focus? You know what? Hold on, let me change over. Let me show you. Oh no, you can see it on the picture. I don't know why I'm showing this. You can see the picture. If you look in the lower right-hand corner, kind of where that BNC connection is, do you see all the boxes, the white boxes with the white print? That gives you, for the band you want to operate on, in this case 40, 30, 20, 17, or 15, it tells you what the antenna lead length should be to be 1/2 wavelength, and it tells you the length of the counterpoise, right? So at 20 meters, you need a 31.5 foot piece of wire and a 17.5 foot counterpoise. Now, I've done that. Let me show you how this kit goes together. I took an old chalk line, DeWalt chalk line, and I put copper wire in it. So I can crank this thing out, and I've got it marked at exactly 31.5 feet with some black Sharpie. Drag this out, hang this up on a tree, take this alligator clip, connect it to my my post on the tuner, right? And then this guy right here, this is the counterpoise wire. That little red connector, connect it to the counterpoise side of the tuner. And then all you do is you bring out your radio, you key up the radio on 20 meters, and this LED will illuminate. That LED's power to drive the illumination is coming from reflected power back off the antenna, going out through the counterpoise. At least I think, no, coming back to the feed line. Then you take this dial and you rotate the dial until the red light disappears. And that's it. And that you just tuned your radio. This is an important thing to understand, because let me go switch back over to my, where did my tuner go? Okay. So I'm going to make a video on this because it's such a cool way of speeding up the whole process and making QRP radio a lot more fun. So this is my new QRP tuner. This is my old QRP tuner. See how big this thing is? So cool. This uses the light as an SDR or SWR meter. So you don't have to lug around an SDR meter. To use this correctly, you need an SWR meter. You could use a light. I guess you could make your own. I could actually homebrew something that would work. This gives you way more options, way more control over antenna, and you have different inductance and all kinds of cool stuff, this MFJ tuner. But this is just great for for doing QRP work. Super cool. Yeah, I found out about QRP guys, qrpguys.com. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. And they've been awesome. Their products are super cool. I have a CW training device that I'm going to build up, and I've also got something else I think that's coming to me. I just love building their kits. Super cool. Just great design. Such a cool design. Let me go back to the picture so you can follow. Yeah, the design of just putting the silkscreen box in there to cover the antenna. So smart. So good. QRPguys.com. Not affiliated, but totally recommend it. And then just QRP in general. So you got your technician license, right? You're able to do VHF, UHF. Everybody does VHF, UHF. That's not to say it's bad. It's the meat and potatoes of ham radio, at least for the technician license. But you're given access to some CW areas on other frequencies, on other bands. You can use a radio like this MFJ 9200, which I did a video of earlier this week. You can use that to operate CW within that little tiny but active technician area of the frequency band. You should. You absolutely should. So, there's this also needs to be its own standalone video, but kind of in the same vein as my Baofeng video, where like everybody hates Baofeng. It's not that everybody hates Baofeng. It's that like kind of like FUDs hate Baofeng. And FUDs also don't like technician class licensees. They want everybody to be on HF, and anything short of that is kind of like not real ham radio. So, whatever that may be to you, doesn't matter. The point is that there is a whole world out there in HF, and it's a really fun world, and I recommend you explore it. Just don't get frustrated with it. What else we got? This is HF. This is just another comment of HF. This is my backyard antenna, which I showed on a previous stream. And APRS. I don't know why that picture's flipped sideways. Sorry about that. That's my Kenwood D72A, my trusty, well beaten up on GPS-enabled D72A. Probably not the best recommendation for most people for a VHF, UHF handy-talkie, but feature-packed. Just packed with features. Does APRS, transmits where you're going, where your elevation is, your speed, all that good stuff. Very cool. That, of course, does UHF, VHF, so you still have that in your back pocket. All that stuff. And we're back. Okay. What do we have in the chat? Yes, James Rite, the EMTech ZM2 tuner is very similar to the QRP guys. Yes. And I think they're, I may be wrong, but I think the actual circuit is the same. Nevets 68. See, this is why, guys, this is why I'm making this video. Well, there's a couple reasons. I'm studying for the technician test. I'm delaying in taking it. Why? I'm afraid to fail. It's go get the app, man. Go get the app. Take at least one practice test a day, and just keep going until you pass with 85%, 90% accuracy, and then just go, man. Just go. Question in the chat was, what was the house antenna? A Slim Jim? No, it's a G5RV, which is a kind of like a combination between a dipole, a multi-band dipole, and a doublet. That really thick black wire that you see going down the side of the mast is a window wire, TV or twin lead window wire, and the top of the mast has a standoff so that I could get the window wire away from the mast, because the mast is metal, and I don't want to deal with the balanced feed line having issues with it. Which, again, another reason I'm making this video. I spent a lot of time talking about getting licensed, and you should get licensed, so by me making this video, I'm going to try and get away from talking about that, and then I can just link everybody to, like, listen, here are the videos. I did it. I did these videos so you can go get licensed. Go check it out. Really recommend that now. Okay, now we can move on to actually what do we do with it now and have some fun. I'm really hopeful that I can spend more time in the actual doing of ham radio and bring you guys with me in these live streams, because that's right now that we're all going to get our license, right? We're all going to go get it. $15. Takes maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Just knock it out. Get it done. What was the other question? The app is great. I've taken the test several times today. That's it, man. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it until you get to the point where you feel confident. And really, actually, don't do it to the point you feel confident. Do it to the point you get 85% correct, and then go take the test. Just go. Just do it. $15. Easy. Hawkeye, did you get your soldering equipment kits at Fry's Electronics? No. Howard has to go. 73s, and thanks, Hosh. All blah, blah, blah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. No, I am using a Radio Shack digital iron. It was a nice iron. It retailed for $100 when all the Radio Shacks were going out of business. I picked it up for $40. It's cool. It's a cool rig. It's all adjustable and controllable for the temperature settings, and it has replaceable tips. It's a cool little rig. I don't have a recommendation for soldering equipment. I did a video on soldering equipment when I was doing the Let's Build videos, when I was kind of going down that rabbit hole. Now, for kits, there's really two schools of thoughts when it comes to kits. You can just go buy a ton of components, or go salvage components from electronics and just build circuits that interest you. That's awesome. Go do that. I'm totally support that. I mean, that's when this whole FM listening bug that I built, right? A lot of this is just, some of this is components I salvaged, some of this is components I had. Again, when that Radio Shack liquidated, I bought tons of components. I filled up 2 or 3 toolboxes just full of stuff. I still have to go in and categorize and put them all together. Now, when it comes to kits, I also support kits. I'm a huge fan, and I'll put it in my A store so you can check it out if you're so interested. The Texun 2P3 Chinese transistor radio kit. I had so much fun building that kit. I really did. And it's laid out well. Testing the kit, very easy to do. I was like, this is great. I recommend everybody try it. And to be honest, still today, it's my go-to AM radio. Works out super, super well. It's well worth the price. It's not very expensive. Other than that, let me get my finger. Can I get it? Right there is a 40 meter receiver. I built that on stream. I don't remember where I got that, but I got that online. Somebody mentioned it in the chat regarding QRP. There is a QRP website that makes all kinds of kits. And all the kits come in a tuna can. You literally peel the metal top off the tuna can. All the kits are in there with a PCB. Dump the kits out, and then you assemble the kit, and then the PCB sits on top of the tuna can. Great. I'm not affiliated with them either. I haven't soldered any of their stuff, but it looks good. Let me go back to the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. I still have some questions to go through that some of you took time to send me, so I do want to get through them. Where is that tuna can? Yeah, QRP just heard of tuna tins. I put a Pixie together and it runs off a 9-volt. Yeah, so there are a ton of single frequency. They're like crystal locked, meaning it uses a crystal oscillator that you can pick up off eBay. They're simple transceivers in 40 meters, 80 meters, 30 meters, 20 meters. You can pick them up off eBay for like less than $20. I have a couple. I think I have a Mighty Mite and a Pixie. I have a Pixie in 40. Runs off of a 9-volt battery, of all things. CW only, but hey, awesome. Ice Bomb, yeah, what Hosh says is right. You don't have to 100% the test. Yeah, you don't get like extra credit. You don't become a Technician Plus if you 100% the test. Just, you don't have the license now. You want the license. Get to the point you can get the license and move on. Do it. My solder station is pretty nice, thank you. Like I said, I just kind of struck when the iron was hot. They were closing out, and I just bought as much stuff as I could get my hands on. Couldn't get the scanner I wanted, though. They had a digital scanner that they just wouldn't drop the price on. Went back multiple times a week and said, like, look, I'll buy them. If you have more in the back, I'll buy all of them. They just didn't want to lower the price. The guys in my metal detecting club laugh at my detector. Of course, they all use 800 plus detectors. Oh, dude. Yeah. So, I have videos on metal detectors. If you said you're using a bounty hunter, if you wanted to jump up, not to say you have to, I think I've found almost as much with my Tesoro Compadre that I found with my White's MXT Pro or whatever that is. I love my Tesoro Compadre, and it's kind of like it's like a metal detector you can EDC, because it's built like a tank. I know we're going off topic here, but if you guys have any interest in ham radio, you might also like metal detecting. It's kind of it's oddly similar. There's a Venn diagram somewhere. Garrett 300 is cool too. I mean, Garrett's fine. Garrett anything's cool. I was always of the opinion that the Compadres will find more than the Garretts. They don't have pinpointing, but you don't need pinpointing. And if you're going to buy a Garrett, you might as well save up and get a Pro. What is it, AT Pro? Because then you get some of the waterproofing features and some other stuff. I don't want to go on a tangent. I could do a whole tangent on that. I found a bunch of gold, like some gold jewelry with my $100 Compadre. Awesome. Compadres are great. They're beep and dig machines. You don't see a screen. You don't have to worry about all that crap. When it beeps, you dig. When it beeps, you dig. And if you're young and you still got good knees, go to town. Okay, sorry about that. Back to the radios. James. James says, yes, sir, my base station is an ICOM IC701, much older than most. Bought a Xiegu X108G and a Juntai JT1688 dual band. I am not rich, but those radios still work. Yeah, is the Xiegu, is that a QRP radio? There's a new QRP radio that MFJ is either purchasing the company or they're purchasing the rights to sell it, that the ham sphere is kind of all into right now. And it's a pre-built. There's another radio that everybody's talking about that it's a kit, but this is not a kit. It's all pre-built. And looks like a cool one. Had a Radio Shack in Mojave. Cell phone sales kept them afloat. Yeah, with Sprint. Ice Bomb says to James, I was going to buy one, but then Yaesu dropped the price of the FT891 to about the same as it, so I ordered those. Yeah, that's a good radio too. Very cool. Okay, so why don't we do a Q&A? Oh, Ray says, testing Saturday morning, and the app has been great. Just found out my friend at church has his general. There you go. You got a local Elmer at least. Got another source to annoy with my questions other than you. Hey, don't worry about it. But honestly, like, there's only so much I can do, right? Because, I want to reach as many people as possible to try and help, I'd like to give everybody mediocre service. I can't give one person expert service because then I'm not helping anybody else, and that's not what I'm trying to do here, but you get the idea. Plus, if you can go bug a general, I absolutely would do that. That's what I did. Okay, Q&A. Oh my god, what happened to my picture here? What does it mean? What happened here? Oh no. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, guys, hold on one second. I've got to fix this. Sorry. I have to dump that and add in another directory. Bummer. Sorry about that. Keep talking amongst yourselves. Yeah. The Xiegu. Yep. That's the one I thought. Oh, boy. There we go. Sorry, guys. Does that one do it? There it is. Okay. Boom. Oh, man. Huh. This guy had so many questions. So I'll slide this over here. So Dan in the chat. I told him, I'm like, I'm gonna make a quick Q&A shout out to Dan. He had so many questions and comments on one of my videos. It was awesome. So he was talking about CW on my last video, and he said 15 to 20 words is great. I again want to mention CW. This is, where's... Oh, you can't see it off to the side. This is what I've been practicing with, an MFJ oscillator. Right? Pretty simple stuff. I'll put that in my A store. That's what I used to practice with. Totally. Yes, there are micro... There is a couple, actually, now that I think about that. There's also a cool place just down the street that we go to. It's like an outdoor spot that has beer on tap and it has some food. It's a cool place. Okay. So Dan says 15 to 20 words. If you're going to do CW, it's kind of the way to do it. Most of my videos that I mentioned CW has a link to a training class in the bottom. Set that thing to 20 words per minute on the right-hand side and set the Farnsworth to 15 and just start going through the classes. There's little classes you can take. We'll do a CW video on a live stream too, for sure, in the future. So he makes a good point. That's the beauty of CW, not to depend on digital modes. Then it would be better to depend on your own skills to operate. And also the good thing about CW is it's a binary thing. You either hear it or you don't. If you're listening on a frequency and you hear somebody come through that sounds quiet, maybe barely there, but you're still making out the characters, R, right? A, R, E. It's rare, but it happens, and that's kind of how you can make contacts with CW. Plus, it carries a lot further. Bandwidth is tiny. FM is huge. Single sideband somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I think I'm going to do like a ham minute video for stuff I find, some musings that I have. Maybe I'll just do it on my iPhone just to get some content out there. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Dan. That was a ridiculous amount of comments, but awesome. Appreciate it. So I'm asked, when and what radio would you recommend to a newer ham that's looking to upgrade his or her capabilities with a mobile unit? So that's super good question. It deserves its own video. The problem is that it really depends on where you see your quote-unquote radio career going. If you want to do APRS, or you find yourself liking Kenwoods more than Icons, or you like Icons, or you like Yaesus, or maybe you're just like, F that, I just want to have a cheap Chinese radio. The TYT company makes a couple of mobile rigs that are great. Some people find that they kind of fall into one of the brands, like a smoker picks a pack of cigarettes that he likes and then they never change. People sometimes stick to a brand and that's what they do. Some mobile radios are HF capable. If you have desires to move to HF, maybe you want to think about popping for that Yaesu. There's a Yaesu that does like 100 watts and it's a mobile. It's crazy. Awesome radio. It's been around forever, but yeah. So it's a case-by-case question. And if you're watching this video and you want to come talk to me and ask me what radio should I get, I'm going to ask you what do you want to do with it, or what are you currently doing, and do you have desires to do more? Next question. Next question. There we go. Hey man, love your videos. So I'm not going to mention, I don't think I have his name actually, but said I purchased all the items from your video. The only problem is that he went out and he purchased the SWR power meter, which I think is great. I think that's a good thing to have. It's kind of more or less something you need when you start having standalone antennas, though. It's not something you need if you're working HTs only. With that said, he realized that he couldn't connect everything together, and I wanted to make a point, and now this stuff is in the A store. But you're going to find as you continue on down your ham radio career, you're going to need connectors. You're going to need to be able to go from Coax, UHF connector, down to SMA connector, or maybe down to BNC. You're going to spend a ton of time just figuring out what connectors you need. There are, if you go to ham radio outlet, excuse me, hamradiooutlet.com, they, among other ham radio places, they'll sell like a connector kit, connector sample kit So you'll get like, I forgot I had a barrel connector here. This is a UHF female to female UHF connector. You're just gonna acquire connectors. Ham radio swap meet is a great place to pick up connectors. There's a guy at the TRW swap meet that I generally always stop by, pick up some connectors for whatever it is I'm working on. There's a ton of electrical components I pick up too. It's kind of stuff you acquire. I don't want to say you hoard it, but you end up using connectors. So you should always have some connectors at hand. I like going from the SMA on the top of my HTs to a BNC connector so that I could use BNC quick disconnect and connect. I feel that's less, over time, creates less wear on the radio. This is a cycling hat that I put my NASA WTF pin and my ARRL. Why is that all blown out? That's a radio. That's the logo for the ARRL. That right there. Basically a radio. Question. Do you mind if I ask a troubleshooting question? When I upload repeater... This is good. I've gotten this from so many people, so I'm glad I'm bringing this out right now. When I upload repeater info to my BF-F8 Plus, the radio works as it should, using the proper offset and shift. Okay? What we're talking about here is when you take your BF-F8 and you either manually, using the menu system, change your offset, or you're like plus to minus, 5 up or down, or whatever, if you're on 70 centimeters or 2 meters, or you use Qrp to set the settings. Okay? Get it? You when you're pushing a talk, it's transmitting on one frequency, receiving on another. But if I look at the shift/D and offset in the radio via the menu, it shows shift is off and offset is all zeros. But when I key the PTT, it does the proper shift with the correct offset. Is it just me? No. It's something, I guess, some thing that happens with the Baofeng where if you're using a computer, you're using Qrp to program it, it works. You can see it because you'll see the shift up and down. But it doesn't show you in the menu system. Okay? So it's a trial and error kind of thing. Take your time. Use Qrp program. Either use another radio that you can talk to, right? Get them programmed up similarly. And then also use a repeater. See if you can use your repeater, if you have repeater friends, to see what's going on. So it's the menu's not showing correctly on manual mode, but when you use it, it is correct. Okay? Good question. Great question. Hello, Josh. I received my BF-F8 HP today, and I'm playing with it. This happens. I reset all from the menu. It even started talking to me in Chinese. How could I get it back to factory receive status? Or do you have a full pre-programmed download file? I think I messed it up. Really don't know. I have been able to pick up a few transmissions, police and private citizens. Help! Thank you, Gilbert. Okay. So if you go back to my BF-F8 radio stream that I did, going from brand new inbox radio to fully programmed radio, I think we did it in less than an hour. I wasn't timing myself or anything, but it's easy to do. Go look at the video. One of the first things I say is save the settings for the radio. So you download from radio, then you save it to the computer, and you name it something like out of box, baseline copy, baseline version, radio BF-F8 baseline, whatever. That's my recommendation. For you, Gilbert, I would plug it back into Qrp, download from radio, and start tweaking all those settings. There's a settings tab that I mentioned in the video. Go check that out. You can go to my Patreon, and you can pay me, and I'll program your radio for you. It's going to cost you some, but there you go. That's a way of doing it. I'm hoping to catch your live stream. What day and time do you broadcast? I've gotten the ARRL Technician app, so far you're doing perfect. Passed 4 out of 5 of the practice tests so far with a 30 to 35 question correct. It's like, just go. I'm hoping to get in next Saturday to take the test. Good. Now, just hitting the groups where... Wait. Now I'm just hitting the groups. See, so that's as you saw when we first went through it, it breaks it down by groups, and it tells you if you're 80%, 50%, 100% accurate. Coming in green, there's a lot to memorize. So this isn't so much a question, it's just a comment. That's exactly what you want to do. That person's ready. Ray, just go, man. You're ready. Go for it. And then we're back. You know Ray? Ray from Huntsville? Oh, it's you! What's up, Ray? Hello to Huntsville. You're ready, bro. Go do it. Don't hold back. Thanks for watching, by the way. I appreciate it. That's funny. Ray, you know Ray? Ray, you know Ray? Whoa, that's cray. What else we got? Is the dog barking to come in here? You coming in here? Okay. Dog wants to hide from the kids. Are you Ray? Ray? Are you Ray in Huntsville? That's awesome. I love that. That's awesome. Super cool. All right. Was there something else I wanted to talk about? Uh-oh. We got Ben. You want to say hi? Can you come over here and say hi? Sure.
Hi.
No, you got to get on the camera. Where's your head? Oh.
Hi.
Hi. Ben says hi. So what did I forget to talk about? Mobile radio we talked about. CW, HF, satellites. Oh, I didn't really hit satellites. Let me go back. Let me go back to my slides here. Oh no, I killed it. Okay, never mind. We're leaving that. There's an app. I'll post the link in the description. Well, I'll try and find the link and post it in the description. Called Ghost Sat Watch. There's a bunch of amateur radio, low Earth orbit satellites that use VHF and UHF, and it's basically like a repeater in the sky. So a repeater in the sky, it's hauling ass. You have to like track. You literally hand track. You have the antenna. That was what that Beme antenna was, and you hand track it as it's going across the sky. It's tough. It's fun. It's challenging. It's not a way to do super resilient QSOs and stuff like that, but it is a fun part of the hobby. Remember, you can. These are all things that you can like add to your repertoire. It's like ham radio prepping. There's so many parts within ham radio. It's a pencil. There's so many parts of ham radio that the more you diversify your portfolio, the more effective you are at doing all kinds of things, which is cool. So James says, remember, if you do not pass the test, always take a second. Mainly if there is a one part that was rough, it will be a different test. Always take a second. Meaning, come back another time to take it again and get a different test? Yeah, sure. All right, can you go hop out? I'm going to finish up here and then... So yeah, just go take it. I'll be honest, guys. Cuba, I mentioned Cuba in one of the last videos. Cuba just went through this whole resurgence where they allowed people to start getting ham radio licenses. And the application, the people coming in and taking tests went through the roof. It was over 90% pass rate. It's not difficult, guys. It's really not. Just build that confidence in and go. Ray, is that what you used to talk to ISIS? No. So understand what you're doing with the satellite. It's just a really high repeater, right? So you're still under its footprint. It's not a beyond line of sight satellite. It's not taking what you send and then beaming it to another satellite, which hopscotches around the globe to get to the other side, because I'm in California, to get to the other side of the world, right? So, no take another same day. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Come on. There you go. Guys. If you fail, take another test. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing. Do it. This is like, there's no, yeah, you can do the International Space Station assuming they have a ham radio operator on board and that person is transmitting or operating. Oh, man. Oh, I saw ISS. I said ISIS. No, yes, of course. You can talk to the International Space Station. Of course. Assuming they have an operator. Because it's an international space station, there are some operators who, I believe most, if not all, have to be able to speak English. but a lot of them aren't operators. Some are all operators. All the crew are operators. They're all amateur radio operators, which is awesome. That has happened. I believe the Russians and the Italians and I think the Japanese, usually a lot of ham radio operators. Japan is like either number one. Well, they're either number one or number two next to us as far as licensed amateur radio operators. Amazing country when it comes to ham radio, and most of the good ham radios comes from Japan. Whether or not they're made in China, that's not the point. Okay, James. Oh, yes. So the other thing I was going to say is HF. When you open the doors to HF, you open the doors to so many cool things. You can literally be on line of sight communication as you're bouncing the waves across the atmosphere. He's mentioning slow scan television. The ISS will often, during anniversaries of certain astrological events and historic events in astronomy, they will transmit from their radio. Excuse me, I got some kind of beer gas going on. They'll transmit from their radio all these slow scan pictures. And they are some cool pictures. They are some super cool pictures. Go on your free time, go look that up after the chat and check it out. I was super, super into that. Yeah. So I think that's going to do it. I appreciate everybody sticking around. We got a really good turnout today. Awesome turnout. Thank you so much. We still passed our test, but we miffed a lot, tripped along the way, but that's okay. We still passed our technician. You will pass your technician. I think we've taken 5 or 6 tests now. And everybody in the chat, as they were answering along with me, most everybody knew the answers correctly, right? It's all pretty common sense stuff. And you've got some wiggle room there that you can trip and fall. Guys, again, Hashnasi, obviously, you can see it's down here. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. If you want to talk ham radio, I'm starting to push people towards Facebook. I'm having a much easier time managing all my messages on Facebook. My Facebook page and the way they do Facebook messaging, so much better than any of the other options. Instagram, YouTube, don't. Twitter, of course, I'll see a tweet, so if you tweet me, that's fine too. Patreon's there, guys. I'm just saying. I go check out... Oh, what was this show? What's going on? I got a weird... That was weird. It didn't like your... Andrew didn't like your comment of 7-3 in your call sign. He thought you were hacking the Gibson right now. Patreon, I put in 4 tiers. $1 tier, $5 tier, $10 tier, and then there's like some expensive ones, but that's for a very specific thing. If you're into that, go check it out. That's a really fast way to get a hold of me there. And I'm actually going to start producing a newsletter. It's going to be a newsletter about things that I don't talk about in video because they're probably somebody else's work. Like a lot of the blogs I read, stuff I get from Reddit, some of the videos that I watch. I try to give shout-outs when I can to YouTubers I like, but some stuff I'm going to save. I'm going to put it into this special newsletter. So if you're interested in that, hey, go check out patreon.com/Hashnasi. Okay, guys, it's time. I'm kicking you out of the nest. The ham radio crash course for the technician license is closed. Go book your class. If you think you're going to be in the Redondo Beach area on Saturday, this Saturday, which is going to be the 27th, send me a message on Facebook. Also, while you're on Facebook, send me that message. Join the Ham Radio Crash Course group. Say hi to everybody. If you have a license already, give your license on the Facebooks. Makes things a little bit easier. Okay? Seriously, guys, I'm getting messages every day from people who are going out and they're getting their test done. They're having a great time. There's no reason. Time is now. Now is time. You already own probably 18 Baofangs. Just go get her done. All right. The kid's coming back.
Booyah!
Booyah. Go get tested. Yeah, that's your hand right there. Okay, guys. Take it easy. Let's see if I can end the stream. I can! All right. See ya. 73.